Mrs. Evelyn Carter had a way of moving through life quietly, like she didn't want to disturb anyone. Every morning, long before the alarm clocks in the neighborhood rang, she was already awake. The house was still dark, the world still asleep, but her day had begun. She made coffee, stood by the window, and let the silence prepare her for another long day. Her reason for waking up early had a name: Daniel. Daniel had been her entire world since the day his father passed away. He was only 5 then, too young to understand why his dad never came home. Evelyn remembered kneeling in front of him, holding his small hands, promising him something she wasn't even sure she could keep. "I'm here. I'll always be here." From that day on, she became everything: mother, father, protector, and teacher. Life didn't get easier. Bills stacked up, jobs changed, and sleep became a luxury. Evelyn worked long shifts, sometimes 2 jobs at once, but no matter how tired she was, she made sure Daniel never felt alone. She showed up to school events, helped with homework, and listened to every little story he wanted to tell. When Daniel was young, he loved sitting in the kitchen watching her cook. He'd talk nonstop while she nodded, smiling, even when her feet hurt and her head was heavy. She packed his lunch every morning with a note tucked inside short messages like, "Have a good day," or "Mom loves you." Daniel didn't realize it then, but those notes were her way of staying with him even when she couldn't be there. As the years passed, Daniel grew taller, stronger, and more independent. He stopped asking for help with homework and started spending more time with friends. Evelyn noticed the change, but she never took it personally. She understood that growing up meant growing away a little too. Still, she worried. There were nights she sat on the edge of her bed, thinking about his future. She wondered if she had done enough, if she had been enough. But every morning she put those doubts aside and showed up again, because that's what love asked of her. High school brought challenges Daniel wasn't ready for. Pressure, expectations, and fear of failure started weighing him down. One evening, he came home late, quiet, and distant. Evelyn noticed right away. She didn't push him. She just made dinner and waited. Later that night, Daniel finally spoke. He told her he felt lost, like he wasn't good at anything. Evelyn listened without interrupting. Then she placed her hand on his shoulder and said softly, "You don't have to have everything figured out. Just keep going. I believe in you even when you don't." Those words stayed with him longer than he realized. Daniel worked hard and earned a scholarship to college in another city. On the day he left, Evelyn smiled and helped him pack, even though her chest felt tight. She hugged him like she always did, but this time she held on a little longer. After he left, the house felt different, quieter. The mornings were the hardest. Evelyn still woke up early, still made coffee, still looked at the empty chair across the table. She missed him deeply, but she never complained. Love, to her, wasn't about holding on, it was about giving space to grow. They talked often. Sometimes long calls, sometimes quick check-ins. Evelyn never asked if he was lonely or struggling. She didn't want him to worry about her. Instead, she reminded him to eat well, sleep enough, and take care of himself. Years went by. Daniel graduated, got a job, and started building a life of his own. From the outside, he looked confident and successful. But inside, he still carried doubts. On the hardest days, he found himself thinking of his mom, her calm voice, her steady presence, her belief in him. One evening, after a long and exhausting week, Daniel drove home without telling her. When he walked into the house, he smelled familiar food and heard the quiet sounds of the kitchen. Evelyn was there, just like always. She turned around surprised. For a second, time stood still. Daniel crossed the room and hugged her tightly. Not like a boy, but like a man who finally understood everything she had done for him. "Mom," he said quietly, "I don't say it enough, but I'm only who I am because of you." Evelyn smiled, her eyes filling with tears she didn't try to hide. She didn't need thanks. Seeing him standing there strong, kind, and grounded was more than enough. A mother's love doesn't ask for recognition. It works silently, sacrifices endlessly, and stays steady through every stage of life. It doesn't fade when children grow older. It simply changes shape, remaining constant, patient, and forever present. And no matter how far a son goes, that love always stays with him, guiding him, protecting him, and reminding him where he came from.